Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the news beat presented to you by the Dislike and Survivor. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow. Uganda has one of the youngest population in the world, but over 60% of Ugandan youth are unemployed. Many have to borrow money, sell their property or put their education on hold in hope of getting gainful employment abroad.
In July 2015, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development signed an agreement with its Saudi Arabian counterpart regarding the domestic workers' employment. Both countries agreed on a standard employment contract for the domestic workers, including identity cards, decent accommodation, and a working day of not more than 8 hours, along with a return ticket, health insurance, and a standard monthly wage of $200.
But the dreams quickly became a nightmare for many Ugandans working as maids in Saudi Arabia. And reports of Ugandans imprisoned and tortured were circulated on social media, implicating the Arab employer sexual harassment and humane treatment.
Some Ugandan migrant workers in Oman and Dubai say their situation is not any different. Consequently, the recruitment and export of domestic workers to Saudi Arabia has been banned by the Ugandan government. This was issued in a statement by Mr. Murudi Mukasa, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
And the ban will be lifted only if the conditions are found benefiting according to the official statement. Ugandan Parliament has already recommended the banning of maids recruitment.
There are 38 companies in Uganda licensed to recruit housemaids and other migrant workers. And since the agreement, an estimated 500 housemaids have made their way to Saudi Arabia through these brokers.
But many unlicensed recruiters have taken advantage of desperate job seekers, like Miss Karima Abdallah, the Kenyan national, who was apprehended by Uganda police after workers' complaints of denial of payments and abuse were brought to its notice.
Many Ugandan migrant workers have been arrested in Saudi Arabia and other Gulf nations. Some have had to die in confinement, and some have had to face deportation.
Uganda is now the fourth nation to ban citizens from working as domestic workers in Saudi Arabia, following the footsteps of Philippines, Indonesia, and Ethiopia.
Mozambique is a country with natural resources in abundance, which include gold, marble, and natural gas, among others. But the underdeveloped sector has not made the required impact, because the mining sector contributes less than 2% of the country's gross domestic product. Incidentally, foreign mining companies have been granted mining concessions and access to land for their mining operations, which has consequently resulted into forceful relocations of various communities without compensation. In 2009, a hunter in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province discovered a small redstone in the remote forest. It was not long before the good news became public, and the forests were discovered to have possibly the world's biggest redstone deposit. The British company Gemsfields, which is the world's leading supplier of colored gemstones, formed a partnership with Mozambican company Miriti for the mining concession. Gemfield would get 75% of the earnings, while 25% would go to Miriti. And Gemfield was also granted 340 square kilometers of land on which to mine and build its property. But illicit mining by the locals has led to conflict between the mining companies and the local community. There have been allegations of beatings and killings of the locals by the local police and the private security, who are paid to protect the interests of the mining entities. The local communities also blame Gemfields for not delivering on its promises, like building schools and hospitals for the local masses, and yet it has made millions of dollars from the redstone in international auctions. Gemfields pledged to pay 1% of the ruby sales to fund social projects in reaction. Mozambique is still one of the world's poorest countries and has one of the world's highest levels of social inequality. And although many locals thought the redstone discovery would bring development and prosperity, the gemstone has only brought conflict and more poverty.
Cybercrime is on the rise on the African continent. Our reporter MC Yala is here with the details.
Technology is making leaps on the continent. The engine of our development, access to smartphones and internet, brought everybody together on the World Wide Web. But security is still a real problem, and everybody can be caught in the system. Government and people hacked and attacked, especially in Africa, where Tanzania is leading the pack. They suffered more cyber attacks in October 2015 than any other country in the world has ever seen. But now the focus is on Namibia, who's taken the leading position of most cyber attacks in Africa. 8 African countries are in a dire situation and amongst the world's 20 most attacked nations. But companies and governments are taking the crime seriously and have voted laws to protect its citizens from any threat related to cybersecurity. People must beware. Malware, spyware, a beautiful software could become your worst nightmare. I'm MC Yala, reporting for Newsbeat.
Thank you, MC Yala, for that report. For many years, Nigerian officials have been stealing public funds and putting them in accounts overseas so that they couldn't be found. But Nigerian leaders have signed a bilateral agreement with the public officials of United Arab Emirates. President Buhari and Prince Nayhan witnessed the ideal that will save the nation by helping return Nigeria's wealth from public officials that looted funds in stealth. The agreement covered issues of trade, finance and judicial matters of the state. They also covered transfers of criminals and recovery and return of any stolen bills. UAE is not the first country Nigeria has approached to help return the money that the past leaders poached. Switzerland is helping return $300 million seized from the family of Mr. Sani Abacha, Nigeria's former ruler. Transparency International accused Sani Abacha of stealing $5 billion from the public funds over his 5 years as ruler. $700 million have already been returned, which couldn't happen without the help of Switzerland. President Buhari has already started a fight against corruption and asked the UK and the US to help end this dysfunction. Foreign anti-crime agents have already given him clues on former public officials who stole and kept their loot. With Buhari on the case, I bet there won't be any trace of public officials stealing money that belongs to the state. That was the news on the beat. Next week will be another hit, Still Ladies Like and Survivor, reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.